us away on that.
So this obviously isn't a big mover, but 2.4 spots in the first round, second round of a draft, that's a significant jump. Now, I know depending on what best ball platform, and we'll talk best ball and redraft here, I've gotten Saquon at the turn in round 3. So Saquon, a lot of people are high on him. A lot of people are scared because of Jalen Hurts and the tush push, which I think is I don't think that's going to be as big of an impact without Jason Kelsey. So I'm very much in on Saquon Barkley. And this is significant. I'm using FFPC ADP for the month of July. So from July 1 to today in the Fantasy Pros, which is not redraft, which is not best ball, it's their redraft contest. So we're seeing Saquon Barkley now creep up to the first round. And again, this was a guy who was being taken behind Gibbs, behind JT. And I didn't understand it. And I think we're starting to see this ADP adjust. I think people are starting to see, wow, like Saquon Barkley in this new atmosphere. This is the best situation he's ever been in. I remember doing our free agency reactions saying that, hey, if all the stars align, Saquon Barkley could have a similar, I don't want to say breakout, but a similar pop effect as CMC had when he was traded from the Panthers to the 49ers. CMC and Saquon, very similar. They were both on bad teams. They both excelled on bad teams. They both had injury concerns on those bad teams. And we see CMC, that trade happens. Some people were like, I'm not buying in. He's too injury prone. And those people are kicking themselves because CMC is breaking fantasy football every year. Why can't that happen for Saquon Barkley? He has a top 5 offensive line. He has, first time in his career, I know Daniel Jones can run, a legitimate threat with an RPO quarterback. Skill position players. I mean, the best receiver Saquon's ever had was what? Darius Slayton. I don't even know if he played with Beckham or not, but still, like Darius Slayton for Sterling Shepard. Now you got A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert. If you're the enemy defense, it was already hard enough to defend Philly with DeAndre Swift and Kenny Gainwell. How do you defend this offense with Saquon Barkley? So I'm completely fine with Saquon moving up 2.4 spots and creeping into that first round territory because that's where he should be drafted. In fact, I actually have Saquon ranked ahead of Gibbs, and I have Gibbs. He's falling in my rankings. Jamar Gibbs is behind Derrick Henry in my running back rankings.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of our conversations together kind of shapes a lot of how we feel. We're kind of on a similar wavelength. I'm in the same boat here. You know, there was I think it was Adam Azer from CBS Sports tweeted this out today, and he said, if you're worried about Saquon Barkley scoring touchdowns, consider this. Over the last 2 seasons, the Eagles led the NFL with 79 carries inside the 5-yard line. The Giants are 27th in the NFL with just 36 carries inside the 5-yard line. So Saquon Barkley was doing his damage mainly outside of the 5-yard line. Like, can he, I'm confused. Like, can he still not do that plus get more additional touches inside the 5 in this offense? I mean, right. I feel as though, what do you say?
I know I'm agreeing. I'm saying,
yeah,
right.
I think the tush push has scared some people away, but look, there's something also to be said about a guy who doesn't have to press to make plays when he's playing behind a better offense. And there's other people that can, it's like, you know, when you're a superstar, it's like you're a superstar on a team with misfits that aren't producing much. You feel like you have to play hero ball. Like it's the same as some quarterbacks. Like they throw out a lot of interceptions. Like Carson Wentz had that issue later on in his career with the Eagles where he's throwing the ball and playing hero ball and he makes a lot of turnovers because he has to make a play. Like with Saquon, like that's all he did with the Giants. Now he can just go out and play on a team. He's going to be in front of his state that he played college football in and he grew up in. There's something to be said about that. And you know, this report came out today, and it's not again, this is day one, so we don't want to overreact, but this came out from Ginny Kempski, who's somebody that is on the Eagles beat and was at training camp today, and he said Saquon Barkley was heavily involved in the passing game, and he probably had more receptions than anybody on the team. He lined up all over the formation. The Eagles ran some speed option drills with Hurts and Barkley to open practice. Like a lot of people knocked me and said, Barkley's ceiling, the push, caps his ceiling because of the touchdowns. And he's with Jalen Hurts, who doesn't throw the football a lot, to the running back position with a running quarterback. The Eagles were like average in the NFL for targets to the running back position. They were only like 10 to 15 targets away from being in the top 10. Like, how many targets does a running back need? And this is not a running back by committee. Will Shipley, love the story. You have Kenneth Gainwell, who hasn't done much. Like, I don't know. I'm with you. I think Gibbs, I have him behind Derrick Henry as well. I think David Montgomery is going to be involved. I'm actually kind of sad because I've been able to get Saquon Barkley like pretty cheap. I mean, in best ball drafts, like there are times he's going in like the second half of the second round, and I'm baffled when it happens. But if he's inching into that late first round to the first to second round turn, it makes me a little sad because I feel like I was getting pretty good value on him. So, but yeah, I love Saquon to smash this year.
I literally have two builds, and where I'm getting this build at. I'll put it out there on drafters. I have builds where I have two. One with Lamb and Barkley, and one with CMC and Barkley.
Yeah.
What? What?
In fact, to get two guys that are projected, projected in the first two picks, 1 and 2, like, and then to get Barkley at the end there, it just that made no sense to me. I don't know what the heck was going on.
But yeah, like to wrap Barkley up here. The Eagles they're going on to their third offensive coordinator in the past 3 years. Each of the past 2 seasons, the Eagles were bottom 12 in team pass plays per game. Obviously, you have to factor in Jalen Hurts. He runs a lot, but this team wants to run the football. And then Kellen Moore's last season in Dallas, the Cowboys were 19th in pass plays per game. So Kellen Moore, if he has the personnel, will also run the football. So as great as this offense is at passing, this is going to be very much a run-heavy offense between Saquon and Jalen Hurts. And I don't think like this goal line stuff. If you're a head coach, if you're an owner, if you're a GM, do you want Jalen Hurts as he gets older and his body gets wear and tear? Do you really want him taking those tush-push hits, especially without Jason Kelce, or do you want to give it to your aging running back you just paid and let's wear the hell out of him for the next 2 years? So,
yeah, and Jalen had his issues last year. He was playing banged up all year. Like, I think that's something to monitor. And Kellen Moore is now in this offense, and look at Ezekiel Elliott had some big seasons when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield with Kellen Moore. So, yeah, I'm bullish on it for sure.